Hello and welcome to Experience Share, episode number 100.
100.
It's the big 100.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
The hunch.
100.
That hunch. It's got that hunch heat on it this episode.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, feel that? Josh, feel that? Ooh, it's got that hunch heat on it.
I can't touch my mic.
I know.
It's too hot.
Can you believe we've been doing this dang show for 100 episodes already?
No, and it's almost, we threw it off a little bit, but, almost 100 weeks straight.
Oh, it's more than 100 weeks straight.
We basically have just been hitting the road as soon as we started this thing. November 2019, I think, is the first episode.
Yeah.
Because we had several issues in pre-pro, which may or may not include my game deleting itself by no error, no accident of my own.
Yeah, right.
Nothing to having to do with accidentally dropping it on the floor.
I've lost a couple games over the years that we've been doing this.
But I think overall, we basically have our shit together.
Just pick myself up, brush myself off, and get back into it. Except when we played Mystery Dungeon, and I lost my game and decided that I was just done.
The origins of Joshy Take the Wheel, because I had to fucking grin and bear it to finish that thing.
Ooh, speaking of Joshy Take the Wheel, Joshy, I brought it down to the dang wire this week, didn't I? In fact, we're starting about a half an hour late because I was still playing Pokemon.
Just finished. I guess I should have warned you last night, except you texted me at like 7, so I was like, oh, he's good. But I didn't realize that what you were texting me was a screen from like 3 missions ago.
I thought I was okay. I feel like I've played an absurd amount of Pokemon over the last week.
Oh, bug catchers. We thought that the legs were long before this.
Yeah.
This leg puts them all to shame.
They really stretch it out.
I think my clock went from like 22 to 30, a clean 30 hours.
I'm at 41.
What?
When you beat the game, which Josh and I both did,
oh,
they
wait,
give you a little,
let me pull my stats.
Stat screen, and my stat said, I think, 40 hours and like 45 minutes.
How could you possibly have overshot it that much? I thought mine was going to be over you. Mine is 29.54.
Up until this week, I was out-leveling you, but this week we're even levels, even rank.
Hell yeah.
And somehow I've played 10 more hours of this game than you.
Yeah, what are you doing? Lollygagging?
Probably
that means even last week, I was ahead of you on the hours, even though I was behind on levels. But I did get a lot of S-ranked corralling this week.
Oh, yeah.
And I did beat up every Pokemon that came on the screen. Did you, leave your DS running or something?
Must have.
You've been one to do that. Didn't you do that on Blue?
I do that a lot.
When you left it on for 200 hours?
The other day, I fired up my gaming computer and went to Steam and went to go play a game called Stellaris.
Oh,
and
wow. You're still playing that. Wow.
Oh, yeah. And saw that I had apparently logged 1,700 hours in Crusader Kings 3.
Holy shit.
I've played a lot of Crusader Kings 3, but I haven't played 1,700 hours. I must have left my computer open with Crusader Kings 3 running for how many days is 173 hours?
Yeah, it's an inconceivable amount of time.
That's 72 days.
I don't think you've played that much.
I don't think so either.
Although I will say, it's the deep, darkest part of winter. And my civilization bug has come to bite me again, and I kicked it up again the other week. And I'll tell you that I have a clean 700 plus hours on that. Actual hours.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You played Civ like it's...
About a month.
Like it's your dang job, but it's not your job, Josh. Your job is to play Pokemon with me.
Yes, and tell me who we are this week, because I don't even think you got to the nicknames. We sort of just spun out of control.
Hello and welcome to Experience Share. It's a Pokemon podcast starring me, Magmortan.
Magmortar.
A.k.a. Tanner Greenring, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Garchosh.
Garchomp.
A.k.a. Joshua Fjellstad. Welcome to the program, Joshua. Welcome to the program, Bugheaders, Bug Rangers.
Good to see and hear you all. Well,
we are in the final stretch of Pokemon Ranger: Shadows of Almia. We have beaten the game, and now we're done. Regale all of you with our adventures through the Almia region.
Beautiful Almia. again, restored.
At some point,
It got
Professor
dark for a
Scientist told us what Almia stood for, what it meant.
Wasn't it? It was just something about, brightness.
No, it's like rebirth. Something about a rebirth.
That makes sense. There was that other word that we learned about in a bit, vatinage.
Oh, yeah, vatinage, which sounds like...
Vatinage.
It sounds like when two dudes rub their penises together on a bus.
Well, okay. I agree until you get to the on a bus aspect.
What's the word I'm thinking of? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Docking?
I'm going to Google...
Frauding?
Fraudage.
Yeah, fraudage. Okay, yeah.
What was the word? Vantanage?
Yeah.
What is vantanage? Because they do explain that too.
It's when these three gems come together. So I guess it sort of is. The gems are frauding.
It's when three gems fraud.
It's fraudage. These three ancient gems when they come together. It's vatanage.
Yeah.
And they create a very, very powerful styler.
I don't know why I thought it was on the bus. I sort of think of fraudage as a public thing. Is that not the case?
No, I mean it could be, but it's not specifically. And
is that not the case? Not. Fraudage expert Joshua Fjellstead?
I don't. I prefer Garjosh. Garjosh.
Okay, good. We ended last week, Joshua, when we had captured the blue gem from Sonic the Hedgehog and the red gem from...
Lavana.
And then we had to go and rescue Whale Lord, which the evil Dim Sun was trying to turn into a boat. And we did, and we ended up on the Dim Sun oil tanker, Joshua.
That's right.
And waiting for us on the Dim Sun oil tanker was old Sven. And here's what Sven said to us as soon as we touched down on the oil tanker. He said, I've always had a lot of faith in you. I've always admired your guts, your determination. Would you join me on this oil tanker and help me take down Team Dim Sun? And we say, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Sign me up.
Yes, sir, we'll do that. And then we go up to the oil tanker and we get a little cutscene, don't we?
That's right.
I feel like it's been years since I watched this cutscene, but it's the head of Team Dim Sun,
shadowy figure,
escorting the three sinister trio. What are they called? Sin Trio?
Sinis Trio.
The Sinis Trio onto a helicopter to go do some nefarious deeds.
The shadowy head of, I almost spoiled it. The shadowy head of Dim Sun is up on this rig inspecting the progress being made on a new type of Gigarimo Mini Remo.
Yeah. Yeah. It's called the Incredible Machine. I'm not sure at what point they reveal that it's called the Incredible Machine, but they are working on a new, Mega Remo, the world's biggest mini Remo.
Oh, yeah.
That will put every known Pokemon in the Almia region under its sinister thrall.
And it has over 300 different commands, we learn.
Okay.
And, that's a lot of commands.
Do they go through any of them?
No. Would love to know why you need Pokemon to do 300 different things.
Seems like mostly they just stick with attack Tanner's character.
That's all that I've really ever seen.
They did a whole lot of attacking my character this week. There's one part where you ride an elevator up a yet to be disclosed location, and you're stopped about every 3 feet to battle about 10 Pokemon.
Yeah.
We'll get to that when we get to that, Joshua. Yes, we see the shadowy figure revealing his plans, and it's up to the Sinistrio to go out and foil the Rangers.
Yeah. And why we're here is, I forgot, we're here to rescue this Whalmer.
Well, yeah, we came here to rescue
that they were
Whalmer.
Trying to present as a Whale Lord.
Right, yes.
After the shadowy head of Dim Sun takes off in a cool-ass helicopter, I will say.
Yeah.
And again, very proportionate. Could fit some bodies in there. It's not like 2 squares. It's like half the screen.
For sure.
From there, you're able to scale up the tower because it's like an oil rig, and then you go down an elevator into the shadowy, watery depths to try to find this Whalmer. And it's a hideout. It's a classic kind of villainous hideout.
Team Dim Sum hideout. You obviously have a lot of wild Pokemon here that you can fuck with. A lot of them are dark types. There's a lot of like merc crows and haunch crows.
Oh, and houndooms. I
Houndooms.
love the houndooms. They were very useful. Their poke assist, when you circle, it will like get rid of like projectiles that the Pokemon you're trying to capture has sent out, which is super useful.
Oh, that's cool. I don't
Plus,
think I ever-
they chase you really quickly, so you basically can't avoid fighting them.
Yeah, they are a little bit of a pain in the ass because of that. The other thing we encounter is, and I'll say this, I think for the first time, I think this is the first time the character has done it, but your character starts assigning his own missions.
Oh, yeah, because we're a top ranger now.
Yeah, you're a top ranger.
Almia's
So
next top ranger.
Sven is like, hey, will you help me like reveal the secrets of this hideout? And it'll be like, Tokyo Hotel decided that this is a mission. Like, mission start.
Collusion.
Reveal the hideout secrets.
Will I get a rank out of this? Maybe.
I mean, we did. Several.
Yeah.
So
it seems a little corrupt.
We
but,
really
you know,
hacked
that's
the
neither
Matrix
here nor
here. We can just assign our own missions. The mission's going to be like, go buy donuts from Stop and Shop. It's like, okay, mission accomplished. But yeah, we go downstairs. We also have now access to. There's a lot of magnetons floating around the oil rig here, and they're the most powerful recharge Poke Assist yet. +5, which is 50 points of healing.
Love it.
Which is pretty big. I think I ended the game with just under 100 points of health.
Same.
So he'll heal half your bar, which is not too bad. And that's the last one too. The from here on out, it's all magnetons.
Magnetons all the way down.
So we head into the oil rig. There's a big ass puzzle here where you need to walk on switches to lower alternating red and blue gates, and you need to like
circuits.
Find what's the Luxray?
Luxios.
Oh,
it is Luxrays, I think, at this point.
The big one. Right. Whatever the big one's called.
The big lion boy.
Yeah, you need to find them so that they can destroy the generators that are powering these like electrified floors. It's all like Pokemon villain base shit, you know?
Yeah. It's pretty standard fare. I feel before we get too far into the depths, because this is the first or second room, we're going to have to talk about one other Pokemon that I really was hoping we wouldn't have to talk about, especially considering we talked about Jinx last week. But you notice these Mr. Mimes?
Yeah, this place is swimming with Mr. Mimes, and got them they're like day laborers.
Yeah.
It's
very troubling.
They're working the assembly line. They could give a shit about you. You have to approach them if you want to battle.
But when you do battle them, which I did, at least a couple of times, especially because they got in my way or I wanted to get them into the browser, but when they use moves, they mime like they're farting. You recall this?
No.
They bend over and then their little light screen or barrier or whatever appears
Farts
around.
Out of their butt?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think I noticed. That's gross. How dare they?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
So yucky. What a confounding
kind of operation
what a confounding set of circumstances that they've put in front of us. What are the legalities of making Mr. Mimes do what I have to assume is slave labor?
Well, I'm not sure that Dim Sun is really concerned about legalities.
They're Pokemon, right? They're animals.
But they are very, very human-like.
It's no different from having a Miltank on your farm, These are just working animals.
They weren't under the control of Mini Remo or Giga Remo either. They're associating with Dim Sun, and it's unclear, are they under duress? They are trapped on an oil rig in the middle of the ocean in a secret lair, so they probably can't really escape. But they're having
there's no indication that they want to.
Sitting around farting, and
they seem perfectly happy.
Yeah. They're doing what they want to do, as far as I could tell.
What an interesting thing. And here it makes me ask so many other questions is why don't we all just rely on, why aren't Mr. Mimes doing every basic labor job?
How would we know if they don't like it? Because they can't talk. They're a mime.
We should just have, think of, everyone would be free to go and cure cancer, so many brilliant minds trapped in remedial labor jobs that are now free to flourish.
It does remind me of the world that's created in Detective Pikachu, though, because those Pokemon, you see them on the street and they're doing manual labor, and it's very unclear whether or not they're compensated for that.
Who's making them do it?
I don't know if they're being made to do it, or it's like maybe a Machoke just likes carrying big boxes around. I mean, you see that in the basement at Celadon too. So it's in the mainline games as well. Very interesting.
I just feel like
someone to look into this.
It feels ishy because it feels like slavery, but I guess it's not because they're animals. And then therefore, if it's not ishy and it's not slavery, is it fine and shouldn't we all be doing it? What a interesting set of circumstances they've put in front of us and really challenged
it is curious.
us with. But anyway, this place is swarming with Mr. Mimes. I'm gonna say this, Josh. This is gonna be very unpopular.
Oh God. Okay.
I don't think the sprites look that bad.
Oh, it's still the best they've looked.
Yeah, I think the
I'm just talking about the behavior of when they use a move where they fart.
Yeah, but you'll notice the distinct lack of
fart.
Barfy music playing or anything along those lines. Because I saw them and I was like, like these. I guess these look okay.
I thought maybe I would trigger it, but I'll admit the sprite looks fine comparatively. The bar is so low it's through the basement floor, but
right. So yeah, I don't know. I thought he was fine.
All right.
I mean, it did bother me. It bothered me a lot.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
But
you've seen worse.
Yeah. And then
what else did you see down there in that oil rig?
Oh God, so much stuff.
It's a lot of just tripping circuits and rummaging through rooms. There's another puzzle where, speaking of farts, you need to figure out how to get into the room where the Dim Sum minions have put the Whalmer, and they barricade it. And so what does Sven suggest? He's like, we might need something stinky to get them out of there.
Yeah, like, Sven, we've done this, buddy. Like, this is not novel.
Man. So conveniently, it turns out that in a darkened room, you can go back and find a just raging skun tank.
Yeah, yucky.
And he's ready to let loose.
Right.
And he does. And there's a vent right there.
And he crawls through the little vent and stinks up the place so that these Team Rocket goons, or not Team Rocket, Team whatever goons, all flee. And I guess Whalmer, they don't really resolve the Whalmer plotline, do they?
They make off with it.
Yeah. So sorry, Whalmer.
They make off for it until the end of the level. No, it's alive. I actually caught it later. There's a quest where you have to find that good rod that angler loses in the ocean, and there's one little cave that you can find the Whalmer. So I can confirm that it's alive.
Yeah, I think
it's not resting with the pedals.
Caught him there too. But then back in the oil rig, once you've made your way through all these puzzles and you've rescued Whalmer, you hook up with Sven again, and it turns out that Isaac is here, your old friend, Bullcut Isaac from the Ranger Academy.
One of our classmates, yeah.
He works here. He was recruited out of Ranger School by Kincaid, who we know is the big bad guy.
Right.
But he's already sort of seen the errors of his way by the time you reach him.
He's like, oh, well, I was told by Mr. Kincaid that here at Dim Sum, we were going to make technology that would help Pokemon and people become friends.
It's not the case. That's not what happened.
Like, dude, how about the opposite? How do you feel about slavery?
Yeah, because that's what you guys are doing right here.
Right.
You should have, buddy, you should have seen the Mr. Mimes and been like, what is this?
For a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
But he's still brainwashed enough that he's like, okay, you can take me out of here, but I want to say goodbye to Mr. Kincaid first. So he drags us down all the way to the bottom floor of this oil rig.
Yeah.
And that's where you find the Whalmer being presented to Mr. Kincaid. And he's like, this is no mini whale lord. This is just a Whalmer. And fuck both of you. And then, I don't know, he tosses him down the chute.
Little does he know that we've hand-delivered a whale lord right to his dock.
Oh, yeah.
Just outside. But
oh, yeah, and it starts ramming the thing.
It does start ramming the thing, right.
So we do have to fight him, and...
Who, Kincaid?
Yeah, he's tries to stop
easy.
You. Yeah, Gliscor.
He's just got one Gliscor. It's the easiest boss battle. They do a thing in this game where if it's a boss Pokemon battle, they'll do a little splash screen with a little illustration of the Pokemon you're about to beat, and that's how you know, like, oh, this Pokemon's hard.
Right. And then they'll have, like, a long HP bar.
Yeah, at the top of the screen.
But this was a joke. I mean, I still had Snover, and it was charged with the Poke Assist, so I just hurled snowballs at it and took it about, 50% off health. And I think it really only has, like, charge, and then it can, I think, maybe throw some gravel.
Yeah.
But it was the easiest of any of his Mon.
Oh, yeah, by far. And then he's done, and then he leaves.
He makes off in his little
He's got like a little catamaran, like a little jet ski.
Yeah.
But he doesn't make it very far because the pissed off Whale Lord chases him down and destroys his little jet ski.
I presume he gets eaten.
Oh, I think
we
so.
never hear from Kincaid.
Oh, he's
again.
done. He's on a boat and the boat gets exploded by a Whale Lord, and that's the last we hear of him.
So he died. Rest
it's
in petals.
Like a definitely confirmed death within
actual
the
kill
Pokemon universe.
Yeah.
I'm sure he just whited
dead.
out and woke up like with Nurse Jenny over him.
Who's also in the belly of the Whale Lord.
Yeah. So then you head back to the ranger station and you check in with everyone. You bring Isaac back. He's now a researcher for the Pokemon Rangers.
Oh yeah, so that's Sympathy for the Dim Sun, the hot new segment.
Oh yeah,
because we have liberated another hapless fool who had been tricked into serving dim sum, and now he's on our side, and he's happy about it.
Yeah,
we think.
Of course he is.
Aside from that whole thing where he made us go say goodbye to his evil master.
Yeah. Well, it turns out we learned later that apparently like Kincaid's whole thing was like Coney 2012, where he was like he got a job at the Pokemon Ranger Academy so that he could recruit child soldiers into Team Dim Sum.
That's right, yeah. He is Coney.
Which I guess is maybe not something you joke about because that man was very evil and did recruit child soldiers, but it became such a moment in 2012 that we had so much fun with it back then. Hard to believe that was already 10 years ago.
It really is. 10-year anniversary.
All the while, Joshua, we're still getting Styler voicemails.
Voicemail, yeah. These specific typos and sort of broken English.
Heath, or someone pretending to be Keith, begging us to come find him in
the Haruba Desert.
The Haruba Desert, yes. So we take a boat over to Haruba Desert. We head north from Haruba Village. In Haruba Village is under the thrall of a Gigarimo.
Yeah, and there's a sandstorm. There's hippopotamus. What are they? Yeah, the hippopotamus one. And even the people are like under the thrall of the Gigarimo. They just give you blank stares.
It turns out that there's a local here who found a Gigarimo unit out in the desert. He is a coffee maker. And he's decided that it's a coffee machine, and he makes the world's worst coffee in it. It tastes like oil and sand, is what everyone says. But he's convinced that it's a coffee machine and not a Gigarimo, so we have to go and find some Pokemon with like Cut 3 or whatever to bring back to the village and destroy the Gigarimo unit to release everyone.
Right.
Just a quick little bit of storytelling, quick little fetch quest to go find a Pelipper or whatever.
Yeah.
But then we head north because the real attraction here, Joshua, is the giant temple just north of the village here.
Oh, yeah. That's where the distress signal's coming from. Hippowdon Temple.
Hippowdon Temple. It looks like a big you would say Hippowdon, huh? I would say Hippowdon.
Hippowdon?
I don't know.
Should we see what that Cerebi guy said?
No. This is the thing about language. It's fluid. Joshua,
Hippowdon.
It evolves. Hippowdon. So there's a big Hippowdon statue out
Makes
here.
it sound a lot more like regal than it is, I guess. I think that's why I don't like Hippowdon.
Hippowdon. It's just like Hippodon. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever.
Language is fluid.
The damn thing.
But yeah,
there's one of them raging in the desert right in front of this temple, and you got to like put him down.
Oh yeah, he was sort of tricky. That Hippowdon, because he surrounds himself with little dust devils, little tornadoes.
Yeah, and you have to get on a Doduo to like run fast enough that you can catch up with it.
To get in the little gap.
Yeah, you have to charge in the gap, and it's just like a tiny space, and then fight it.
Yeah.
And it's mad.
It's pretty tough.
Mad as hell.
But then once you do get him, he will use a area effect move to fill in the entrance to Hippowdon Temple so that you can actually reach the proper entrance. And then we're in the temple, baby.
Hell yeah.
We're here. There's also a bunch of vines here that you can cut down with Fearos to like get stuff, but you don't need any of that. You just need Hippowdon's sand fill power. And then you're in the most like Super Mario Brothers temple that we've faced yet. It's like it's very few Pokemon. It's mostly just, what are the big ones called? Golems,
yeah. Clay dolls.
There's very few Poke Assist challenges, like very few obstacles to be cleared with Poke Assist.
Yes, there's little like Bronzors that are up on the walls like shields, sort of.
I like them.
They'll like flop off when you walk by.
Yeah, when you walk by them, they'll sort of like pop off the wall, but like not quickly, so they don't get you.
Yeah,
you can just like run past them and they'll all pop off. It's pretty fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's very Super Mario. That's exactly right.
It's
a lot of it is just like avoid this like big sand ball that's being fired out of a cannon and like run across this platform before it disappears.
Everything is little walkways over shifting sand streams. Yeah. And you have to navigate across the little skinny walkways while dodging sandballs being shot out of big cannons in the wall. And if you get hit, you either fall off into the sand flow and get kicked back to the start of the level, or you fall into a pit and like end up in like a little room full of scorpions.
Yeah.
Whatever those little scorpion Pokemon are called.
The Skorupi.
The Skorupies, yeah. But once you manage to work your way through it, which is not trivial, it's like you have to really...
It goes deep.
Pay attention. And there's a couple times where it's like pretty... What do you call the genre of game? Now I've already forgotten. Twitchy. It's pretty twitchy, where it's like you've got frames to make it past some of these sandballs before they hit you.
Oh yeah, you have to remember like where they go.
Yeah, and you have to like rush
where they end. Yeah, because it'll like hit you, and like most of the time it pushes you into the bottomless abyss. But you have to time it really carefully.
Yeah.
And then there's like another room full of it's a maze, and then it's got springy
this is like right out of Mega Man.
leaves.
It's like Metal Man's level in Mega Man 3 or 2 or whichever one that was, where there are these raised platforms over a big pit, and they disappear and reappear, and you have to like get the timing right.
God.
Very, very, very Nintendo, Super Nintendo era stuff here.
That's a big reason why I rarely play platformers, actually.
Because they're annoying.
It gets on my nerves pretty quick.
Yeah. So you make your way through. There's not a whole lot else going on in here, except there is one big giant Pokemon. So you make your way through all of this stuff, and then you end up in like an area where you have to do a lot of jump puzzles on big springy leaves, like we did back in Boyland.
Right.
And in order to do that, you need a Pokemon that they have hidden here among the ruins called Tyranitar.
Yeah.
And Tyranitar is cool
giant
in this game.
Oh, yeah.
He's huge. He looks like Godzilla, and he has Giga Beam, or whatever it's called, Mega Beam. What's that move called?
Hyper Beam?
Hyper Beam. He's got Hyper Beam, and he'll fire it off, and it does 20 points of damage if you happen to get your line in the way of it.
Good as hell. He's never been more Godzilla than in this game. Yeah.
But it's pretty fun. And then there's also like, stuff like bannets and things along those lines here. But they're all pretty inconsequential. We're really here to save Keith, but we make it to the end of the level, and it turns out it's not Keith at all, is it, Joshua?
Oh my God. Who would have thought?
The guy who was sending you voicemails this entire time. And that's his term. We're not saying.
Yeah, we know it's supposed to be voicemail. And in the preceding other ones, you always get it's voicemail. So that's kind of the giveaway.
It's Heath, the yellow, the protector of the yellow gem.
And he's in the desert.
Prince's Tear. Yeah.
Heath.
And he's got... So it turns out... Who is the bad guy that we face? Is it Cresselia?
Yeah, Cresselia.
Cresselia
well, it's
is
a beautiful, angelic, like ancient Mon who's protecting this yellow gem.
It's so interesting that they chose to invent an entirely new Pokemon for this game
that Pokemon is
to protect the yellow gem
me?
in Haruba.
It's
Desert.
in Platinum.
What an
it's
odd choice to
to
choose invent an entirely new Pokemon that no one's ever heard of before.
And no one has ever
of the yellow gem here. But
thought of it again after this.
Once you beat Cresselia, you get the yellow gem, but that's right when Heath shows up in his helicopter and he says, "Hey, it's me, Heath. I have your friend Keith here.
Right.
Give me the yellow gem or else I will kill Keith."
Yeah.
People have died
You've
in this
been
game
fooled.
already. The Band-Aid
and there's
has been
lots of
ripped off.
bottomless pits right here.
Yeah.
Lots of suffocating sand. This is an easy place to get killed.
Yeah. So, of course, you agree. You give him the yellow gem. He throws Keith out and then also throws his Magnezone out.
Yeah.
But Magnezone's pretty easy.
Yeah. I had a Gabite, which has the dragon. The dragon Poke Assist is also cool, where it just summons meteors all over.
Oh, yeah, I do like that one.
So that was great against Magnezone, because ground moves did not affect it, because it has Levitate, and that was smart. Clever.
Right.
They actually held that over.
Right. I can't remember. Oh, some of the Pokemon moves, the Poke Assist moves, like just require you twirling your stylus. And it gets a little the screen gets a little busy sometimes because you're like, I'm not trying to activate the Poke Assist move. I'm just trying to catch this Pokemon. Stop shooting meteors down at me, you know?
The other one is like the ghost one, like Gengar's, where it will summon little shadows that are basically blobs. Ghastly looking. And you only need one of them to be around to slow down the Pokemon, but you're circling and then it just keeps popping them up and then you've no idea what's going on.
Yeah. But that's it. We've acquired the yellow gem, but then we just as quickly lost it. But we do have Keith back in our protection again.
Yeah. Save our idiot friend.
We've saved Isaac from Team Dim Sum. So now we head back to the Ranger Union to get a little rest, do some questing, collect ourselves, and figure out a plan for taking down Team Dim Sum.
That's right.
Once and for all, Joshua, where did you head from here?
Did a couple of
After
quests.
this break, I didn't even use the right syntax that time.
No, that wasn't your best.
Welcome back, Bug Rangers. Welcome back, Joshua.
Hello.
This is one of the last opportunities, Joshua, to clear some of the quests that have been building up during the last little segment.
I think it's the last one, in fact, before what happens next.
During all of the last few little bits, rescuing Whale Lord, the oil rig, and then Haruba Desert, we haven't really gotten the chance to collect ourselves and do some patrolling. So,
yes.
I know that we said we were going to hold off on patrolling, but this is one of the few chances we got, so I took full advantage of it. I assume you did as well.
That's right. I cleared them all.
Cleared them all too. Apparently, before...
I guess we'll do a quest check. We did them all.
Do you want to do quest check?
Or yeah, where are you going with that?
That's where I was going to.
All right.
Apparently, before the end game, there are only 40 quests available to us, and I did 40 of 40, Joshua.
I also did 40 of 40.
And fully thought I had done them all and that I had beaten the quest system. Was a little confused why all of my power-ups weren't filled in, but I figured, well, whatever, that's just poor design.
Yeah.
Imagine my surprise when I beat the game, got the little post-game splash screen, and it said that I had only done 40 of 60 quests, Joshua.
Yeah, what the hell?
And I happen to know for a fact that one of the later quests is to collect every single Eevee evolution.
I did see that.
Because I had started to do that just for fun.
Me too.
Because at one point, Chairwoman Irma is like, are you ready to go, take on the final boss? And I was like, it would be a good idea is if I had every Eevee evolution with me.
Oh, that is fun.
So I was looking up all of their locations and saw that it is a later quest that I never got. So there's a whole whopping 20 quests that are out there waiting for us somewhere.
That reminds me, while we're here, I feel like you're triggering it because Joshy's Sweeties are all of the evolutions.
Oh, yeah. They look great in this game.
I did not capture an Espeon, but I did capture all of the other ones. Did you
Oh,
capture
really?
Espeon as well? I don't know where
Yeah.
it is. I found all the other ones organically.
Espeon is in Chroma Ruins.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Unless I'm thinking of Umbreon. I often confuse the two of them.
Yeah, Umbreon is Chroma Ruins.
Okay. I don't know the difference between the two of them.
Espeon is the
And
luscious
it's-
purple one, and
It's
then
Pokemon Coliseum's fault that I don't know the difference between those two.
Well, it's hard to tell the difference in terms of how sweet they are because they all look sweet. They all got the big eyes. They all bound around. They all have cool moves. They're very good. I had a Vaporeon pretty frequently. I would just have
Vaporeon
one.
is good.
And there are a couple of them. Whereas
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's a number of them. I only saw one Jolteon.
Yeah, there's a Jolteon hanging out in the desert.
Yeah.
There's
And
the Umbreon. There's a Flareon in the Ice Castle, I think.
no, Flareon's in Volcano, obviously.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and there's no Glaceon, is there?
No, Vaporeon's in Almia, Umbreon's Chroma, Espeon. Where the hell's Espeon?
Oh, I don't know. We'd have to look it up, but it doesn't matter.
No, but anyway, the point is they all look great. They always look pretty good, but seeing them in like full beauty in their natural environment is fun, and it's fun, as Tanner mentioned. There's a quest that we probably won't ever get to, where you have to collect all of them, and I would like to see that. It would be worth it just to see it with them jumping around you.
So yes, we're here. We're questing now. We're trying to get some
Right.
quests done. There's a ton that we have to like go back and do. A couple of notable ones for me, Joshua. The guy whose Gigarimo espresso machine you break insists that you replace it. He heard that there's another espresso machine in Hippowdon Temple and asked you to go get it. The second he said it, I thought to myself, oh, okay, Bronzor.
Right.
He's got to mean Bronzor. So I clawed my way up Hippowdon Temple, through all of the platforming parts, through the disappearing sand panels, got to that last hallway, got the Bronzor.
Oh, Bronzong, probably.
Bronzong, sorry, Bronzong.
Bronzong? Yeah.
Bronzdong. I got the Bronzdong,
That thing looks like a nice espresso machine.
left the temple, walked all the way back down to Haruba Village,
Oh my
walked
God.
up to the guy and was like, got your espresso machine, my man. And he did not. He was like, oh, are you here to cancel your quest? I was like, fuck.
Oh,
If
that's
it's not
brutal.
Bronzdong, what could it be? So I went back to the temple, worked my way up through the entire thing again. Literally the next room after Bronzdong is filled with
Oh, the clay dolls.
the clay dolls.
That's what it is.
Not
yeah.
clay doll.
Isn't it?
Oh, is that one clay doll? What's the unevolved one called?
Ball toy.
Oh, yeah, it is clay doll.
It's clay dolls.
And it turns out the clay doll is what he's looking for. And he comes to the temple to...
I didn't even have hypothesis. I think Bronzdong is pretty smart. I didn't even think of that. I guess I'm glad I didn't, because I just kept going
assumed.
deeper and deeper and hoping that I would like find something, and yeah, it triggers. But it's the clay dolls are at like the end of this fucking temple.
Yeah, they're right at the end.
Like, 4 basements down or whatever. So you basically have to do the entire thing again, which I think I mentioned last episode.
Or
where they-
twice. Or you have to do the entire thing twice.
Right,
Because you're an
yeah.
idiot.
Yeah.
Like me. And then, Joshua, I want to talk about one other quest that happened.
Okay.
And it's my Ranger Danger of the week.
Ranger Danger issued.
There is a guy out in the desert called Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a connoisseur,
freak.
Joshua. Mm-hmm. He's a collector. And the thing he collects is scents. Fine scents.
Not like a Mr. Keepsies kind of a guy.
No, more like a Mr. Footsies. What was that guy called?
Dr. Footstep.
Dr. Footsteps kind of guy.
Yeah, he wants the most exquisite fragrances from around the world.
Please fetch me the most exquisite fragrances you can find.
He previously had us go catch him a muck. I don't think we talked about that. He wanted to give muck a whiff.
He wanted to smell that nasty muck. So we do that. We go and we find him 2 Pokemon he's looking for. He's looking for a Wheezing and he's looking for a Stunk Tank. What's it called?
Skun tank.
Skun Tank.
Which are not in the same place. So it's again
not only are they not in the same place,
quest.
Joshua, but he is hanging out right outside of Hippowdon Temple. So I was like, oh, they must be in Hippowdon Temple. They're not. Neither of them are.
Didn't you remember what was in there?
They were definitely not in there. They must be in there somewhere, you know?
Oh, he's way off the scent, so to speak.
Hidden alcove. But no, Stun Tank is in the oil refinery where we
you had to go back there, and that's again like 3 floors down or something, because that's almost the end of it.
And Weezing is at Almia Castle.
Yeah, that's where I got it too.
So you've got to really traverse the map to get Oscars.
I did this when I was trying to like build my nice team to go into the next part, because I figured it was like probably the end game. And then I had to replace like these beautiful, I had like an Arcanine and shit. And I had to replace it to bring in this Weezing and a Skun Tank.
Yeah.
And I had to rank. Yeah,
you've got to like sacrifice like half your team.
And you had to get a Staraptor because you're flying around, so you lose 3 slots. Because I don't want a Skun Tank or a fucking Weezing.
Right.
Just to satisfy this freak's kink.
But you do.
I mean,
Joshua.
it's sorry, I shouldn't yuck yums. Sorry, it's fine if you want to give Skun Tank and Weezing and Muck a whiff. As long as you're treating them okay.
You bring him over to this guy, and he takes a big whiff of their nasty scents.
Yeah, you have to watch him walk up to each Pokemon individually and like smell them.
Just really get a nose full. Yeah.
Drag out this cutscene.
Yeah, it's gross. Yeah. And then there's a few other cutscenes, but they're all pretty, or a few other quests, but they're all pretty inconsequential.
That was definitely the most memorable one, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're back at
the Union,
Ranger Union.
You get called back by Chairperson Irma.
Yep.
Yeah, so you go back and you get the news from Irma and Dr. Scientist. They have deciphered more of Brighton's diary.
Yep.
And it says that his son, like you imagine this father, like sadly writing this in your diary is like really dark. He writes that his son, Blake, had driven him out of the company after saying, "I will eliminate anyone who stands in the way of my world domination, even my father." And that's like the last entry that they've been able to decipher. And they're like, oh shit, talk about daddy issues, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So you find out that this is, I think, the reveal where everybody, if they hadn't put it together already, All True is the actual corrupt entity behind.
Yeah, they're the bad
Dim
guys.
Sun. So that's where it's all coming together, and you realize how dire it is to go find this yellow gem. And just as you're starting to, I think this is when you get the reveal from the rest of Dr. Scientist's research that the incredible machine Isaac was working on, and he's sort of like finally revealed all this information.
Yeah, he's like a Nazi scientist who's like coming to America to like work on the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, and so he's like, all right, so oops, the Incredible Machine is actually the All True building. It's 1,100 feet tall. It can broadcast a 500-mile radius when it's at full strength, which is the equivalent of 8 million Gigarimo units. They specified.
Hey, Josh, I saw it in action. I'm convinced.
Yeah, this thing's huge. I mean,
it's big, and it has an effect on Pokemon.
Yeah, and this is this is where it's like, and it's got 300 commands, and he's like, we're like, listen, Isaac, okay, stop pitching us on this. Like he starts falling into this QVC kind of a thing.
I'm sold. Where do I buy one?
So we had to snap out of it, and not buy this thing, and he's like, oh yeah, and it's all popping off on All True Day, which is, I think, within 24 hours of when you find this out.
Yeah. So you immediately have to go assemble your team, find Keith, all that kind of stuff. Wendy and Sven are selected to go and like run this mission to take down Team Dim Sum and like stop the Incredible Machine from acting.
Yeah, their scheme is to like, all right, we're gonna send Keith and Galas and Tokyo Hotel into the bowels of the building, and they got to get the yellow gem, and then they got to bring it up to the top, and then
that haven't happened yet.
No, I know, but this is Operation Brighton, isn't this when they
at this point they're like, Wendy and Sven are going to go handle it. You two stay.
Oh, they're just doing it. That's right. Yeah.
And then a second later, like the second Wendy and Sven
Conveniently.
leave,
Yeah.
like there's something rocks the Pokemon HQ, and
Yeah.
you go downstairs, and it turns out that Heath, the yellow gem guy from the Haruba Desert, has like exploded the side of Pokemon Ranger HQ and is there to kidnap Isaac.
Yeah, they
because
want him
Isaac
back.
is the only one who can make the incredible machine work, and he's got Melody as a hostage.
Isaac's sister, yeah.
Yeah. So he takes Isaac. He leaves.
Yeah, they just give up, and it's like we
He makes
obviously
you
can
he
outpower
makes you
these
fight
people.
as Hyperion first.
No,
before
he
you
has
can-
an Electivire at this point.
Oh, right, you're right. He does have an Electivire. I know that because it's my You Make Me Barf Pokemon of the Week.
Oh, back on the board.
He eventually does have a Hyperion, and it kind of becomes his like signature
Oh,
Pokemon.
Rhyperior, yeah.
Rhyperior, right.
Oh, he
Hyperion
loves
is
that
the-
thing. I mean, I know it from StarCraft. It's a battle cruiser. Probably my favorite battle cruiser.
Oh, it's a book I've read by a guy called Dan Simmons.
Okay.
So
that
that's-
series, that's on my sci-fi list, actually. It's a good...
Oh, you should read them. They're really good.
I'm clearing the Ancillary Justice one right
Those
now.
are also
I
very
just told
good.
you about that. Yeah, I'm very much enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's where a AI ship, like a ship becomes sentient, and it's like, thousands and thousands of years in the future, and is in a human body, and it just wakes up and is piecing together like what happened to everyone in the past 1,000 years, and is on kind of a revenge quest, and it's great.
Yeah,
I've cleared basically the whole thing in about 4 days.
Is that the one where they don't use gendered pronouns?
Yeah, it's that everyone is by default the ship identifies as a woman, as a female, and then so it interprets everything as like a female, and then like certain planets. It's very like Ursula K. Le Guin, I think, like Left Hand of Darkness, where essentially like certain planets have like a different custom, but essentially everyone is androgynous and no one really cares. And like some people will be like, no, like there's a lot of inner dialogue of the ship being like, I didn't know whether to say he or she. It's interesting. It's like, it's cool.
It's fun. Those are good books. So are Hyperion.
Why do you hate Electivire?
Oh, here's why I hate Electivire. Ugly.
Same reason as
so
usual.
ugly.
Yeah.
So ugly, has penises on its back. Ugly, nasty Pokemon has penises on its back.
And they do wriggle around. If
they do wriggle around.
if you needed any clarification there, butt catchers.
So yeah, he's my You Make Me Barf Pokemon. And
That's
they give him a little, he's a boss Pokemon, so they give him a little splash screen. And it's not just his back penises, although the back penises are bad.
Yeah.
He's just a very ugly Pokemon.
Yeah. That one, this game actually, the graphics didn't do it any justice.
He's got like a little like skeleton nose and little beady eyes and like a little ugly grin. He's so ugly. So ugly. And he's got penises on his back. So yeah, I
don't
beat
have
him.
a good counter. Yeah.
And then
You essentially just you're in this building. It happens to be 4 floors. Well, it's 3 floors and then a roof. And then, of course, there's 3. It's a trio. Sinus trio.
Right.
And there's like 1 per floor, and they cause trouble on each one. So you kind of like, you fight Ice, Lavana, and Heath again.
Ice has a
Garchomp.
Garchomp, yes, which is another boss. And then Lavana,
She just makes off with
she's
with
not
Melody,
really
I think,
involved in
actually.
it, right? Yeah.
Your
Yeah, she just fucks
final
off.
boss is actually the what's his face Wheeler, the like little lackey of
you go up to
Blake
the
Hall.
top floor where Irma is, and Wheeler is up there.
He's harassing everyone with Bidoofs.
He's
That's
got
his
Bidoofs.
thing. He's a joke.
That was kind of
He kind of looks like the
thing,
Joker.
though.
He's got green hair and like a bad purple suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So serious. That's kind of a fun battle because you go upstairs and Wheeler has unleashed 8 Bidoofs.
Yeah.
But the second the battle starts, it like treats it like a boss battle. And the second the battle starts, all 8 Bidoofs are like clumped up in the middle of the screen, and you have to circle them exactly 1 time,
And they're out.
to catch every single one of them.
And then it's like Bidoof, 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 Bidoof. Like they all pop away.
yeah,
Very satisfying.
So then Wheeler leaves, and you save Irma, and you are rank 9.
Rank 9, pretty easy mission,
Yep.
but it sort of chains into the next one.
Yeah, and then you are sent off because now you have reacquired. No, you haven't reacquired the yellow gem.
No, we got to go get it because Sven and Wendy are like, well, we can't get close enough because there's this protective barrier all around the top of the tower and like the whole thing. So we need to send someone in.
Sven and Wendy are circling above on Star Raptors, each with the blue and the red Prince's tears.
Yes.
And it's your job and Heath's job to go into the Ultru Tower to rescue Isaac and Melody, disable these shield generators so that Wendy and Sven can fly in and blow everything up.
Yeah. And did you say get the yellow gem? Just to recap.
And we do have to get the yellow
gem,
too.
Which has like a 4-tiered also like protective system around it. So this mission is like 4 hours long.
Yeah. At one point, you're taking the elevator up. The elevator breaks down, so you like walk up the shaft, and every single you can't take 10 steps without a Team Dim Sum guy attacking you and like sicking a bunch of Pokemon on you.
And it's like not like none of there are challenging fights coming up, but none of these are. It's like greatest hits. It's like Glalie and like.
At one point, one of them just has a Weezing and a gun tank again.
Oh yeah,
it's like I just did this.
So none of them they're just annoying. There's countless.
Oh yeah. The nice part is though that like these multi-Pokemon battles always give you extra XP.
Yeah, group captures.
So you're just cranking through the levels at this point.
Yes.
But then so you go up and you eventually kind of get dumped out into a trash compactor, very Star Wars.
Very Star Wars, yeah.
And then you're in a little puzzle room. So they kind of do it in phases. First you have to do all the battling, and then you have to do all the like overworld like obstacle clear puzzles. And the way this room works is like there's 6 little rooms, and each one has a certain Pokemon or 2 in it and a Team Dim Sum member. And you have to
with the mini Remos.
Yeah, and you have to defeat the Team Dim Sum leader, capture the relevant Pokemon, go clear some puzzle. Like you need to capture Scyther to clear a Cut 3 Girder, and you have to catch a Magnezone to go like Flash in another room to catch an Absol to
Blaze again,
Crush 3. And it's like
set off a fire smoke detector to cause the water
yeah, exactly.
To come out of the sprinkler system to turn on to get a guy who's locked in a bathroom stall to come out, who has the key to unlock one of these gates. It's crazy. I mean, this is to get the yellow gem.
This is just to get the yellow gem. So eventually you do manage to unlock the like force field that is keeping you from going up to the 10th level where the yellow gem is. But once you get up there, you're up there.
Yeah, this is the part where you fight Ice, Lavana, and Heath again, right?
So yes, all 3 of them
disable
attack you
the barriers, and they all have their like favorite Pokemon.
Is this where they attack you all at the same time, or is that later?
That's after this? Yeah, bug catchers. I mean, it's wild. It's like there's 3 more levels, and you fight Heath, who's got a Rhyperior. You fight Ice, who's got the Garchomp, and then Lavana. What does she have?
The boy version of
Gallade. That's right. Yeah. So you fight that. Very gendered, Tanner.
He is the boy version.
Is it only male?
I think so. Is that not right? I thought Gallade was the male version.
You know what? You're right. It's Pokemon
the other one was the female version.
Who smacks of gender here? They're want to do that. So you fight. You fight all of them and their signature Pokemon, and then like Isaac has to disable the like passcode, and then you have to use a Pokemon to crush the barriers with their like overworld move. It's wild. It
was actually at this point, Josh, that I used up all of the evolutions that I had been trailing behind me this whole time. Because the yellow gem has a yellow crystal around it, and you have to use electricity to disable it. So I was like, okay, get in here, Jolteon.
Oh yeah.
So I actually made pretty quick work of all of this. But then once you're done, these 3 clowns attack you all at the same time.
You have to fight them again.
Rhyperior,
all 3,
Gallade, and Garchomp at the same time, and
that was
the
chaos.
most annoying battle in the world.
That was chaos.
Because like they don't stick next to one another. They're constantly like shooting off their moves at different times. They all have like bad like Rhyperior will shoot flames out of his mouth while like Garchomp is shooting bubbles out of his mouth somewhere. It's like it's so hard to like get a clean like circle in on these guys. But eventually you do it. You also at some point in all of this, your styler gets upgraded to the fraudage styler.
Right.
So it's even stronger and at some point in all the questing, we picked up like a mega charge thing.
Right.
So you can hold down the styler for even longer to get like an even bigger.
Yeah, it does like
line.
quad damage, I think. Like I was doing like almost 500 damage if I did that.
Right. So at some point I just hid like my styler in the corner where no one would ever touch it and just let it build up and then just like do as many circles as I can on all of these guys.
Yeah, there was another upgrade from a quest that was great where it was just like, if you circle more than 8 times, then it also boosts it like 25%. So it starts getting like wacky. I mean, it still takes forever, but like I didn't die anywhere here.
Oh no, yeah. And they do when you enter these group battles, because from here on out, most of the battles you do that are not boss battles have at least 2 Pokemon.
Yeah.
And they do sort of get a little dumber and easier. Like they do tend to sort of stick pretty close to one another. They do tend to use their moves less often. They want to like not make it a nightmare for you, thankfully, which is great.
Right.
So yes, you've done it. You've captured all 3 gems. Your styler then like levels up even more to be like the gem styler or whatever. But at the same time,
all 3 of the gems come together, the fraudage and vatinage and everything. Yeah, and now it has like superpowers.
Touch their gem penises
all of
together.
the gems can be, brought together, which will come up in a second.
As we're doing that, though, as we're defeating all of these bad guys and getting a super-powered styler, Ultru, what's the guy who runs Ultru called?
Blake Hall.
Blake Hall finally reveals himself and his master plan on the top floor of Ultru Tower,
where this big shadow crystal is.
Yep. The shadow crystal and the incredible machine have reached full power. He has unlimited power. All of the Pokemon in Almia are under his thrall.
They're going nuts. You see them.
He can command Pokemon at will. At some point, he proves it by bringing a
Dusk Noir.
A Dusk Noir.
He's like, I can summon any Pokemon I want.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Wheeler also summons one more Bidoof for you.
Yeah, Wheeler keeps trying to summon Bidoofs.
But yeah, you do have to fight this Dusk Noir.
Which is pretty easy. But then once the Dusk Noir is gone, he pulls out the big guns, which is Darkrai.
Yeah, he was using some dark summoning spell with like 8 black Gigarimos on another floor to summon this thing.
Right.
And then he has been warned by another assistant that it's like, oh, you're going to create like the Dark Realm or something. Like, we're not ready for this. And like the Darkrai comes out and pops a fucking giant abyss that just sucks all of them into it.
He tries to suck you into it first, but then Heath comes and saves you.
Oh yeah, he whisks you away in a Staraptor. That's right.
At some point, God, it's so complicated. At some point,
there's a lot.
Keith gets blasted off the top of Ultru Tower.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, hope he's okay. But he is okay because he comes and saves you at this moment. And then everyone else, like Heath runs, Wheeler and Bill, or whatever his name is, Blake gets sucked into the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
And then it's up to us to defeat Darkrai. And, save
you got to fight it. And the first round, your attacks do nothing. And I was like, Jesus fucking. I'm like trying to eat dinner. It's like done. I'm waiting to eat dinner. And I'm like, oh my God.
This is the part where your wand becomes like a super wand.
Yeah. After that, your friends come and they, you get all the gems close enough that they like, Legend of Zelda style again, they float together and then like combine their powers to like create the Vatinage styler. And then every time you use it, it turns like blue, yellow, and red.
It's cool. It looks cool.
That battle was still pretty tough, Darkrai, but
Darkrai is pretty annoying, although you can just park your styler in the corner and build up a huge charge and then circle him. But he bops around the screen a lot, so it's hard to get a...
I had a couple of Primeapes, too, and their Poke Assist with the, like, double your power was great.
Oh, yeah, I had Arcanines, which do the same thing. Oh, by the way, that Arcanine sprite...
Ooh, doggy.
Woo, what a beauty.
Oh, yeah.
There's an Arcanine or two hopping around in the tower here, and they look great. I just kept catching them because I just thought they looked good.
Yeah, it's really glorious to have them following you.
Once you defeat Darkrai, there is honestly, Joshua, 30 minutes of ending cutscene.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm like trying to figure out how to even summarize this in a captivating way.
I was already 10 minutes late for the record at this point, and I was like hammering A through all of this, so I didn't see a second of it. So you're gonna have to regale me on what happened.
It's essentially the two main bullets. Actually, I thought it was a pretty satisfying conclusion of this thing, but it's basically like Dr. Scientist makes his way up there, and he's like, we decoded the rest of that diary of your father's, Blake, and it turns out your name used to be Wyatt. And it appears that the shadow crystal, after it had been discovered by Brighton, his father, basically started kind of corrupting him, and like made him change his kid's name, Wyatt Hall, to Blake Hall, because he wanted to create this rift between the crystal wanted to create a rift between them, because the crystal
worked.
Feeds off dark energy and like, hatred and shit. Okay. Classic. And so we've broken the spell, because now that the gems are all together, they like purify the crystal, and then Blake's like, I am Wyatt. Oh, and I will come willingly, and like whatever. My plan, it was fucked up. My plan was to use mind control to make all the Pokemon into like workers. Actually, speaking of, he wanted to make them like mine precious materials and like transport goods.
Seems fine.
And like generate water and electricity.
Listen,
and
if
heat.
we're fine with Pokemon being laborers.
But he's mind controlling them. It's not that they want to do it like the Mr. Mimes want to fart and be trapped on an oil rig, or the Machokes want to carry boxes.
I mean,
they're forced to.
What is domestication if not mind control?
My cats sleep about 18 hours a day, and they get free food and lodging, and I clean up their shit. Piss.
Yeah, right? And
they're pretty happy.
Yeah. I don't know. Seems like a pretty good gig to me, but
so that's
whatever.
It. We've
Sympathy
that's I think I summarized that pretty well, actually. Sympathy for the dim sun. He comes willingly. They all get arrested. And then there's a big party with it's again kind of Ocarina of Time ending, where the Go Rock quad gives their concert with their like actual like liberation song, the anti-sponsored content theme, and it's called Almia Day, not Ultra Day anymore.
Yeah, and the top screen on your DS has the shining Ultra Tower, and it like flashes across.
It's beautiful.
All the various landscapes and people you've met as they all like all the Pokemon sort of come out of their thrall, and everyone is happy that we've saved the day, and that. It's Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia.
Yep.
There's more. Apparently there's 20 extra quests, but we're not going to do them.
Yeah, I did boot it up after to see, because I wanted to... We talked about this before we recorded. You wanted to beat me? Well, I wanted to see, like, how am I rank 9? You got to get 10 by the end of this thing, and so that is level check. I hit rank 10.
Apparently
and
I did too.
Level 43.
And me too. Although I do have 10 extra hours of playtime on my
That's pretty mysterious.
Cart.
That feels like human error.
I've played for 40 hours and Josh has only played for 30. We don't know why.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia. It's honestly pretty fun.
I enjoyed it.
It's goofy and JRPG-y in like all the bad ways, like convoluted story and grindy mechanics at times, but it's
charming.
Fun. It's charming. It's fun. It looks great. The
graphics
sprites
are great.
all look great. It's like the novelty of spinning the stylus on the bottom screen you expect is going to wear off really quickly, but it sort of doesn't. Like,
no.
It keeps being fun. They manage to like level up your pen, and the enemies get harder in such a way that it's like actually a challenge.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with like if you do or if you did play this, the quests really, they make it go by quick because those upgrades are great.
Yeah.
I was really impressed. Also, I'll just give a respete to Nintendo hardware. How did that screen not break with the amount of circling that I was doing on that thing?
I think this game is notorious for breaking old 3DS screens, because I don't know if you remember this, but the like first gen 3DSs had
just the DS, the old one.
Yeah, had like a very soft bottom screen.
Yeah,
like it had this like film over it, and I think everyone ruined their DSs with this game.
My DS Lite still perfect screen. I'm looking at it.
Oh, really? Our modern DSs have like glass screens, so it's a little hardier.
I do think this will be the last ride for the DS Lite, though. I believe I will be 3DS from now on.
What's your assessment of this game? Where do you place it in our interstitial hierarchy?
Well, let's see. We got
Snap,
Coliseum, Gale of Darkness XD, Mystery Dungeon, Red Rescue Team.
Then this.
That's it.
I think so. We
got some work to do.
An interstitial between 4 and 5.
Yeah, I guess I would probably go. Ooh, that's tough. I'm tempted to say that it's the best one.
I think it is. I like Coliseum a lot.
Yeah.
For a lot of the same reasons. It's like Coliseum reminded me of a Final Fantasy
very unique
game.
And it's a Creatures Inc. joint, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I think this is maybe the most fun interstitial we've played.
I think I'd go Ranger, Shadows of Almia specifically, Coliseum, Gale of Darkness, Snap, Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah, Mystery Dungeon by far the worst.
Yeah.
Where are we going from here, Joshua?
We are going to
take a break.
Unova once again. But yes, we are taking a quick break. We're taking 2 weeks off.
We're just too busy, and we apologize for that. We hate taking breaks, but we just need a couple weeks off to collect ourselves before we head back into the Unova region. We asked you guys, we sent a poll on Twitter. We said, should we do Black and White 2, or should we do Pokemon Legends Arceus?
Yes.
Which is coming out around when this episode is dropping. And all of you with a resounding
70%.
70%.
And it was similar, I think, when we did this before Black and White also.
None of you want us to break the chronology.
You love it. You love history, and I love that about you.
We will hold off on Pokemon Legends Arceus for now, and
we
play Pokemon Black and White 2. We are
starting January 25th. Tuesday, January 25th. Oh, yeah, and it's Tanner's birthday. That's so nice.
We've got some ideas for weird shit to make the season a little bit more interesting. Some interesting rules and stuff like that.
Do we want to say? We're going to wait.
Let's wait, because what I'm going to say now is, if you have like an idea that you're really fired up about that you wish we would do for like alternate rules or anything along those lines, just tweet at us at EXPSharePod and let us know like what wild rule set you think would be fun for us to do. We have an idea of what we want to do, but we're still open to suggestions if you've got some ideas.
Got about a week to lock it, so let us know what you think, and give us a follow on social, Twitter and Instagram. While you're there, EXPSharePod.
And pick up those carts if you want to play along. You've got 2 weeks.
Yep. And check out our subreddit, reddit.com/r/bugcatchers.
Yep. Rate and review the show everywhere you rate and review shows. That's it for Pokemon Ranger, Shadows of Almia, Bug Rangers, Joshua. Goodbye.
Bug Rangers, smell you later.